What if I told you that this one adjustment is hindering you from landing and selling more clients? My name is Raphael Valentine. I am a CPA and a business consultant, and ultimately, what I want to do is just help you through the countless consultations that I've had through other entrepreneurs and small business owners. And what I want to talk to you about today is why you should stop focusing on selling yourself and start focusing on selling solutions. I can remember a specific discovery call I had with the client where I was essentially just giving them a rundown of my resume. I really wanted to onboard them. I really wanted them to become a part of my business. And so I was doing so by trying to sell myself. I was talking about credentials, work history, track record, etc. But I made the detrimental error of trying to put myself at the forefront of attention instead of my client and my client's needs at the forefront of attention. And that ultimately led to me getting ghosted. I haven't heard from this client, and that was years ago, so I don't expect to hear from this client. But ultimately, I want to get across to you 3 reasons why you should focus on selling solutions and not yourself. And reason number 1 is clearer marketing. If you can get your offering into tweet form, which is 150 characters or less, it proves to the client that you thought long and hard about what it is that you offer. If you can't clearly communicate what you offer, then why should the client be convinced to work with you? Not only does it provide clarity, it also provides confidence, because if you can present an offering to them and the client or potential client rejects your offering, they're not rejecting you, they're rejecting themselves being better off. And we all know that a key component to you being successful as an entrepreneur is self-confidence. And if you're constantly selling yourself, why you should work with me, this is what I do, etc., and that gets rejected, you're taking blows to your self-confidence, which can ultimately lead to you getting out of the entrepreneurship and out of the industry altogether. And so I just have an example here of a mobile detailer. So let's read this. X mobile detailer provides on-site pressure washing that is fast, efficient, and stress-free. So you can see here that you see who they are. They're a mobile detailer. You see what they provide. They provide on-site pressure washing, and you can see the problems that this mobile detailer will solve. We solve problems of slowness, we solve problems of inefficiency, and we solve problems of stress. If you have a busy schedule and you can't take the time out to go wash your vehicle or whatever it is, and you need someone that's going to come on site and provide a solution to you that is quick, that is efficient, and will relieve you of some stress, this sounds like a deal. Reason number 2 why you want to focus on selling solutions versus selling yourself is that you clearly communicate the value you provide. You essentially have 2 routes when you sell a client. You can talk about yourself or you can talk about your solutions. When you talk about yourself, there's no ill will in that, because you're trying to convince the client that due to your track record and due to what you know, an engagement with you works. But ultimately, they don't want to hear about that. They want to hear answers to this question. And this question is, how am I better off after working with you? And if you can answer that question for a client before they even ask it, it makes you stand out from the crowd. It makes you look like your desire is to keep this client at the center of attention. I want to read an excerpt from this book. This book has been detrimental to the way that I've been thinking lately, not only about business, but about life and relationships in general. And How to Win Friends and Influence People, page 108, states this: the most fascinating conversationalists that you know, they don't try to impress you with their knowledge. You enjoy their company because they talk in terms of your interests and your opinions. And who isn't pleased by that? The other person will relish talking to you, but you as well will receive an award, and that's the enlargement of your life. And to put this in a business context, if you desire to keep your client at the center and in that spotlight, you'll receive an enlargement of your life, an enlargement of your business life, which is the money and the revenue that they can provide you as a client. You see, your client is the main character. Your client is the main character of their life. Your client is the main character of their business. And if you can keep them there and focus on shining that light on them by getting rid of the word I and me when you set up and have these discovery calls, I guarantee you your success rate of closing will be higher. And lastly, I want to talk about alignment, because when you focus on selling solutions instead of selling yourself, you help the client see that your goals are in line with their goals. My goal is to help you succeed. My goal is to make sure that we're in this centerpiece of this Venn diagram. You want to be here. You want to be at the point to where the client perceives that him succeeding means you succeed, and vice versa. And when you sell yourself, you have these 2 circles that never intersect. They don't form a Venn diagram. When you sell yourself, you're just off in your own world and then the client is off here. And what that eventually leads to, it leads to you being ghosted. A little Pac-Man ghost. And so ultimately, selling solutions provides clearer marketing. It provides clarity to the value that you provide, and it also provides the client being inundated with feelings of being in alignment with you and who you are. So if you got value from this video, what I want you to do is just subscribe. I'm going to produce these videos every so often so that I can just clearly communicate and get out to you the lessons that I've learned through my consultations. And if you can be helped by any of this, that's ultimately my goal. I want to make this entrepreneurship and owning this small business exercise a lot easier because it is hard. It's hard to succeed out there. So I want to make sure that I can do whatever it is in my power to help you succeed. So if you got value, again, just subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.